was thinking we'll finish up with a little Saint draft. And if anyone has any questions or anything, you guys can like comment below or anything, and we will like I don't know. I'll respond with something, or we'll respond
Yeah.
with the stuff with the website and the CatholicMarriagePrep.com if you're engaged or about to be married, or maybe you're married and you're not Catholic, but something you're like, wow, that's really interesting, and maybe something you would want to look into just to maybe help your current marriage. Like, oh, we'll throw that in the description
Yep.
as well. But you guys comment below, and I can respond back. But awesome. Well, we're gonna finish off a little like we always do with the Saint draft. Eventually, I want to do like some music and some intro, but like I said, I'm a one man show. I'm gonna need Daniel for that one. But we're so it'll go back and forth. The guest always goes first. We've this has literally become like such just a random thing that we've like made the rules up as we've gone. So I went back and watched the very first one with Lindsay, and and actually me and Lindsay are like talked about it a little bit. But the main rules is we'll do starting five, and then the sixth man will be a blessed. Someone's not quite to that saint level yet, but we know is going to be. And then we had to take out, which we're just, like I said, it's a work in progress. It's anybody in heaven, so but Jesus doesn't count. And then we also took off Mary as well because we're
Oh
like,
man,
that's
that
a
was my
tough
ringer.
one. That's a tough one. But then we thought about it. It's like, well, maybe we could do like it's got to be a specific like apparition or something. Like Our Lady of Guadalupe or Our Lady of Sorrows, or maybe that's I don't know. That one's for a different time. For now, we'll just say Mary and Jesus are the coaches, and we'll put together our Saint draft. So, all right. So you'll kick it off, and we're going to do top five. And remember, this is kind of like whose line is it anyway, where we draft the teams and the points don't matter because both teams are going to be awesome. But you guys comment below anyway which team you guys think would save the world if they were all alive today. So who is your
That's
first
too
pick?
funny. Well, okay, you took Mother Mary off the list, unless I can pick Our Lady of Fatima.
Hey, we'll go with it. We'll both pick. We can both do a Mary apparition for our first pick.
That sounds good. We'll make up the rules as we go.
Yeah.
But Our Lady of Fatima, I mean, man, it's been just over 100 years since she appeared, and I think she is a little intimidating when you read the apparitions. And I'm like, she'd be my ringer.
Yeah.
She's coming in hot, not messing around.
And her feast day is coming up, right?
Mm-hmm. I think on the 13th. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she'd be
well,
my
then
number one.
I'm gonna since we're doing Mary apparitions as our number one pick, I'm actually gonna take one that I felt very, very connected with about 6 months ago. Well, I'm still, but like 6 months ago when I heard about her. But have you read that book, Priests and Beggars?
No, I haven't.
So it's about I think it's venerable Father Aloysius Schwartz. He basically he's relatively recently. He died in like I think the 90s maybe. But he basically restarted the church in South Korea after the Korean War. Did girls' towns and boys' towns. The last one he did was actually in Mexico. But anyway, he had this dedication to Mary and specifically Our Lady of Bonneau. And I hope I'm saying that right. I believe it's Belgium, but it's like Banneaux. But she is the Virgin of the Poor, and just super like she originally appeared to. Oh, I'm spacing the name. This is why it should be Catholic questions instead of Catholic answers. It wasn't Gecko, was it? I don't remember. Anyway, appeared to a young girl, and she followed her out to the snow. And anyway, long story short, Virgin of the Poor, and this little girl was very poor, and she comforted her through that. But Priests and Beggars, I feel like I have it somewhere, but Priests and Beggars is a really good one about Father Al, and it was a book I couldn't put down. But Our Lady of Bonneau is where I found out about her, and she's a great one to pray with for financial problems, but also just overall not being attached to things of this world. So tithing. So if someone's struggling with tithing, maybe ask Our Lady of Bonneau for comfort. Anyway, that was a very long explanation for number one pick. Number two.
That's great. I would say, Padre Pio for today's age, because he also was a no fluff guy. I got to go on a pilgrimage to Italy when I was in college.
Yeah.
My priest had a really strong devotion to him, and when they exhumed him, he was incorruptible. And so we got to go and see all of that before they
That's crazy.
started moving everything around. So that was pretty cool insane. To go to his like hometown.
Yeah.
You know, before he really became, before I feel like I even like heard about him very much.
Yeah.
But I just feel like he had such a way of reading souls that we truly need priests that are, you know, living their vocation. And I think he really was. He was even persecuted within his own order. So
yeah. Didn't he get in like literal fights with demons too? Like they said they would hear loud bangs and stuff, and then when they get up there, he'd be like all beaten up, and that's crazy.
Yep.
Oh man.
And he's like this little guy. He's not very tall. You see his tomb, and you're like, wow, that was. But and his stigmata went away after he died.
Yeah.
Or when he died. So
dang,
pretty
that's
neat.
Crazy. Yeah. That is cool. That's so awesome. Okay, so with mine, I would take. I always try to change it up, but I would pick this person every time anyway. So I'm gonna go with my leadership of the team. It's gonna be Saint John Paul II.
Ooh, that's good.
Be my pope. Oh, for obvious reasons. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I think I love John Paul II. I mean, obviously, for our time, but marriage and family life. I think one of the reasons he was so powerful with his theology of the body discourses is because he hung out with married friends. He knew their struggles, and like he'd go hiking with them, camping with them. He was kind of a man of the people. So,
I like that picture. I think he's like hiking, and he's in regular clothes. He's got his foot up on a rock, and he's like smoking a big cigar. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
All right, pick 3. Okay.
I mean, I gotta pick Saint Joseph. Is he allowed?
Okay. Yeah, he is. He's allowed.
He's our family patron, but he's he's quiet and he's a hard worker. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what you need sometimes. You got to have that person.
Yep.
And if I was going to actually mimic that pick with my third pick, then I would go with the patron saint of this podcast, Saint Philip Neri, who left his whole family inheritance to live with the poor and serve the poor, and he was just kind of one of those humble guys. I always say when I read about him, because I was in a donor meeting one time, and they said, "Who is Saint Philip Neri?" Well, I don't know. It's my second week on the job. I was like, oh. Gosh, I literally prepped for this entire meeting, and I didn't look up who he was, and it was really embarrassing. But so when I looked him up, it was like he was like the king of the little way of evangelization. Very humble, very meek. I actually was prepared right here. One of his, a glad spirit attains to perfection more quickly than any other. Wow. And so he just had some great quotes, which is awesome. So number 3.
Okay, mine's going to be Saint Felicity. That's my confirmation saint.
Nice.
And my sister, we were confirmed the same year, and she picked Perpetua totally separately. We did not.
That's funny.
We
didn't talk about it.
Nope. And so I
awesome.
I just always thought that was really cool. Felicity means joy. And so another saint of joy. In her story, being early Roman martyrs, that I think she was the servant to Perpetua, who was like a noble woman.
Yeah.
And Felicity prayed to have her baby so that she could be martyred with her friends and give her baby away to safety. But there's also, I think it's in the Bible, but it's not, I don't know if they ever say her name, but legend says her name was also Felicity, who had the 8 sons who were all being martyred. Maybe it's more of I don't think it's scripture, but it's kind of another one, an obscure Saint Felicity out there that they made her watch all of her children be martyred.
Oh,
and
she was like,
she was encouraging them not to be afraid.
And,
And so they were able to give their life of joy. But anyway,
we'll talk about talk about 2 different parent approaches. So you have that like don't be afraid, and just encourage them to just be martyrs. And then the other one was Saint Felicity. Well, I believe it was either Felicity or maybe it was Perpetua's dad, who was like, they told him all she has to do is denounce her faith and we'll let her go. And her dad was like, awesome. Let me go tell her. Yeah. And he's like, oh, this is all you have to do. And she's like, no. And I was like, that would be, there's the obvious one of what we should be as parents, but which one would we actually act like if someone was like, I'm like, I would hate to say that. I would lean towards that one, but that would be very, very hard. So, all right. My 4th pick, like I said, I do this every week, so I try to mix it up some. And maybe this still encouraged me to like read more. I've got like this Saint Rose of Lima book back here, but I haven't read it yet, so I won't pick. So I'm gonna go Saint Catherine of Siena.
Yep, that's a good one.
So good. I was wearing her socks yesterday from Sacrilegious, and which I always see when people mention companies, they're like, "This is not a paid ad." So this is not a paid. I don't know why we have to mention that, but Sacrilegious, if you want it to be a paid ad for my 64 subscribers,
if you wanted to be an affiliate link, if you want us to be an affiliate link, I'll take it.
$25 a month. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. So St. Catherine, obvious reasons, she's just like kind of just a faith warrior, just great. And just called out the Pope, saying you need to go back to Rome.
Yep. No. Yep.
All right. So fifth pick, and then we'll do our blessed.
This one was hard, but I think I'm going to pick St. John the Evangelist.
Ooh,
He's been a special saint to me. I'm the youngest in my family, and I was kind of the one that early on in my life. Yeah.
Welcome.
Oh yeah, he's wanting to be in on the picking. He told me.
Okay. Yeah.
But St. John always had a special place in my heart as the youngest apostle and the only one at the foot of the cross. Early on in my teen years, I got very involved very early, and it kind of, a lot of people could have seen that as like, jumping off the ledge into being a Jesus freak or whatever. But he was just always a very faithful friend, because even if you're the youngest, you can still be, you can still be close to the Lord. And he's just, I don't know, I just really admire him that he kind of withstood all of that being young.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, St. John. Wow. All right, so my fifth, I was thinking about changing it up, but let me see, because I have like 2 or 3 different ones I'm thinking of right now. I should like start thinking about this beforehand too, which I don't. I typically just wing it. But man, okay, my thoughts are between St. Francis Xavier, who baptized multiple thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, which would be awesome, because we probably need a lot of that today. So I'd probably go with him, but my second one, so I'd go St. Francis Xavier, but the other one I was deciding between was St. Patrick as well. So remembering a lot of his stuff, when we came across our Catholic engagement kind of books, I also came across my Acts binder from like the first time I was on team, and I was looking through all like the notes from like when people did like St. Patrick moments and talked a little bit about him, and so he had a great thing. What's funny is the one thing I always remember is everyone's like, he was actually very well known for wearing a certain color, and everyone's like, yeah, green. It's like, no, it's actually blue, but they did green because the Ireland connections. I was like, that's very strange. I did not know that. So apparently he always wore blue, but they changed it to green for the pictures for the Ireland connections.
That's cool. Maybe because of Mary, who was wearing blue.
Yeah, maybe.
Devotion.
Yeah.
Man, now I can't decide on my fifth one.
Well, you already did your fifth.
Oh, I already did my fifth? Okay.
Yeah, because you picked first. So now we're on to the blessed. Okay. So we're in the very last. The very last pick is the blessed, which there's like a few that are always the picks, which I won't say who they are, and I'm sure you'll pick the one that's always picked. It was Bishop Condola's first pick.
Was it Rother?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll pick a different one then.
That one's tough. Yeah. That'll be the new thing. It's like if you're from Oklahoma, you can't pick Stanley Rother because he's the obvious pick.
Yeah. Even though he was on my list here. I think, he's Venerable Archbishop Fulton Sheen.
Oh, yeah.
I think he would have been awesome to have a podcast. And he would have, I know, been saying, no Stanley Rother.
You can pick him.
we can pick him too.
Yeah.
But, he really, kind of like Mother Angelica, they leaned into the technology that was there, and they used it for good. Yeah. And I think, I have people that aren't Catholic that are, in the older generation. They're like, oh yeah, I remember seeing Fulton Sheen on TV, or he was just a good evangelist.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, this one's more of a personal story, but she's not a blessed, but she just got approved, and so she's a servant of God, and she is a previous Focus missionary.
Oh,
so Michelle Dupont. And so when we were at Seek, and I'll try to make this a short story, but when we were at Seek, they told us all about her, showed her the video. They have a whole documentary about her. I don't know where you can watch that, but I'm sure you could search Seek's website somewhere, Focus's website and find it. But yeah, so they were just talking about her and how just loving and lighthearted she was, and how even though she got, I don't remember what disease it was specifically, I think was like leukemia or something, she was just so still on fire for Jesus and evangelizing through her sickness. I thought that was just so cool. But anyway, but to the personal side of it is I got back from Seek and we were trying to night wean Benedict, and I'm just like, he keeps waking up and we just have to get him night weaned. And so I'm staying up with him, and I'm thinking beforehand, this is going to be a horrible night. Like he's going to wake up every hour. This is going to suck, whatever. But let me just go to bed now, because I'll go to bed and I'll at least get a little bit of sleep. And I was just so frustrated. I went to bed, and literally, like, I have this place, and Father Elkin walked us through this whole story of like how to find your place for like this Ignatius type meditative prayer. And so it's this like grassy knolls, this grassy hills, and I was sitting there, and usually it's just a place where just Jesus would come and like he would sit next to you and say, "What's going on?" It's a great place to pray. And so I was there in the dream, and I remember thinking like, okay, this is gonna suck. Like he's gonna wake up, all the stuff. And all of a sudden, I just hear the behind me, someone say, "Just remember the face of him waving to you goodbye when you leave for work." And I was just like, immediately felt this comfort, immediately felt this like, this kind of like smack in the face type, like, oh, like, golly, like, what are you like, stop thinking like that. But when I turned around, it was Michelle Dupont.
Oh, wow.
And it was the coolest thing, and I woke up immediately and was like, whoa, that was super cool. Like, and so I remember telling Branson, I was like, hey, I got to tell you a story. Either Michelle Dupont appeared to me in a dream, or I just had a very, very clear dream. Either way, it was super helpful and super cool. But yeah, cool story about just a new saying. So yeah.
I really love that, about remembering your children when they're being like your sweetest moments, when you're having your hardest moments.
Benedict is the sweetest. When he runs, he's just like just waves real big and smiles real big, and he's like, bye, like when I'm leaving for work, and he just loves it. And like Michelle Dupont like told me that like in the dream, and so I was like, that's so cool. I do got to remember that, which was awesome.
That's awesome.
So,
that's awesome.
All right. Well, you guys comment below which team would save. Obviously, they both do amazing, and there is no right or wrong answer. But yeah, just comment below. But thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We're for everyone watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button and like button, just like all the podcasts say, because it does help spread it through the algorithm. Overnight last night we had 12 new subscribers, so I'm like, it's growing like crazy, which is awesome. So I think it's the Saint draft. I'm just gonna put it all in the Saint draft and God. But yeah, good. Thanks for being on, and I hope everyone listening had a good time. And we will see you next week with Carlo Broussard.
Oh, awesome! All right,
awesome. Thanks, Audrey.
Josh.